Paradise is back.
It's finally here.
In a new location, Costa Rica. There will be adventure, drama, and romance.
All gas, no brakes. That's my vibe.
Ready to find some love.
But it wouldn't be paradise without surprises along the way.
These kids need to learn.
That's right. Your favorite Golden alums are crashing the beach.
We bringing the party, baby.
Bachelor in Paradise premieres tonight at 8/7 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu.
What is Cafe Mocha? Cafe Mocha is experts, celebrities.
What's up? This is Belle Biv DeVoe.
Yours truly, Idris Elba.
This is Fantasia.
This is In Vogue.
This is India Ari. So much more. All from a woman's perspective.
What flavor are you, baby?
This is Cafe Mocha.
Cafe Mocha, celebrating 15 years of radio from a woman's perspective with Loni Love. Yo, I'm the producer, Angelique. We've got Kindred the Family Soul. Plus, we're talking to a journalist who's been in the court during all of the Diddy trial.
On the line, our girl, she has been serving us the latest in Hollywood, pop culture, and everything in between. She's smart, stylish, and she knows how to get the story behind the story. Please welcome the fabulous multimedia journalist, pop culture expert, and TV host, Jasmine Simpkins. Hey, Jasmine.
Woohoo! Hi. I love that. Was the best intro I've ever had, Lonnie. My goodness.
Oh,
I'm so happy
you deserve it.
Oh, thank you. Wow.
You deserve it. But you got to give us the tea. What is going on with this Sean Diddy Combs trial? Let's start, first of all, talk about the history that you have as being, an interviewer and a journalist, and then what is actually going on right now. And what are your thoughts, the analysis of the trial?
Yeah. So, as you mentioned, I've been a reporter and pop culture expert for quite some time now, at least a decade. And over that time, I've interviewed Diddy, Puff, Sean, in various stages of his career, right? And I've gotten to see him as the record producer when I've gone in studio to listen to some of the music, gotten to see him as a family man on the red carpets when he's brought his kids, his daughter specifically. The last interview I did with him was at the Oscars, the night that, Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. Puff was there on the carpet with his daughter Chance. I've interviewed him when he was getting ready to get an Icon Award at the BET Awards a few years ago. Interviewed him before he was taking the stage to host the Billboard Awards. So just to have seen him in this multifaceted, multi-layered career that he's had. And I've talked about him, and why this fall from grace is, I think, so disappointing and so shocking is because, he coined this term Black excellence. So for us as Black people, we were aspiring to this, and he's the one that put that term out there, right? It was all about us being our best selves and working our hardest. And he proved it. He was a millionaire by the time he was 21, a billionaire by the time he was 30. He put the Hamptons on the map for Black hip hop, right? Everybody was at his parties, the white parties. You had Martha Stewart. You had, before President Trump was President Trump, you had Oprah, you had Gayle. Heck, Lonnie, you might have been at one of the parties. My point is that you wanted to be around the magic of who he was. And little did we know, behind all of that was this dark underworld that he was living in. And so I had to be there at the trial. And so I was there week one when Cassie testified. And you could hear a pin drop, first of all, during certain parts of her testimony. Everyone was quiet and dived into every word that she had to say. I mean, I even looked over at one of the jurors, and he looked like he clutched his pearls, because it was things that you would have never imagined first of all, she was going through, but that they were doing, right? Like behind closed doors in these hotels all throughout Los Angeles, New York, Miami, that they were doing these things, these freak-offs, right, that she called them. So, I got to listen to her testimony, and it was just very sad to hear her talk, hour after hour about the things that she went through with him. I saw him. He's much thinner than we, have seen him before. Lost a lot of weight. Hair is pretty gray, salt and pepper. He's got on these very, I call them dad outfits, very ensembles, like like nothing flashy, no labels, no Versace, no Gucci, nothing like that. He might even have on a Sperry topsider shoe. Like they've really got him looking like, clean cut American father. His children were there those first few days. His mother, Janice, has been there. Several of his baby mothers, Sarah and Misa, were there. Other members of their entourage and family have been there to support him. So that's that. In terms of what I'm feeling and what I think thus far, I'm no legal expert, but I do think that the prosecution has a lot more work to do. I know we're only starting week 4, but I sat there and still thought to myself, okay, we got the point. He is a monster. There was domestic of drugs. He's not nice to his staff. But are those things in line with these charges? We've got racketeering, we've got sex trafficking, and we've got transportation for prostitution. And I don't know that I've heard any of the witnesses, even in the days since I was there, speak to those things specifically, except for the travel for prostitution, right? So my takeaway, I think, is that in the next 4 weeks, because the judge has been very adamant that he wants this to wrap up by July 4th, so we got a few more weeks, that the prosecutions, they must got some darn good witnesses that they're going to be bringing in to help, align with the charges.
Wow. I wonder, though, everybody, I won't say everybody, but certainly everybody in the music industry knew about R. Kelly and what he was doing. Is there a sense that people knew? I mean, what was going on? Do we know if any of his other girlfriends, J-Lo, were involved in some of these freak-offs?
She predated, his relationship with Cassie. He started a relationship with and signed her to the label in 2006. J-Lo was 98, 99. J-Lo was long gone by that point. But do I think that she had been involved with a freak off with him? I don't know. What it's like to me is that the freak offs were a very specific Cassie and Diddy thing, right? Like the white parties that he threw in various cities that a lot of people and the celebrities that attended were not freak offs. These were very specific sexual parties that he would have with her and an escort or 2 or 3 or 4, because she also talked about how they might rotate escorts in every hour on the hour, and they were doing lots of drugs. But you never got the sense that from even out of Cassie's mouth that other celebrity friends were there. No, this was an intimate thing that they shared in the course of this 10-year relationship. Only once did one of the assistants mentioned that she would get hotel rooms for him and Kim Porter. But she never specifically said it was because they were having freak-offs. It was just that she would be tasked with booking hotel rooms. And so I gathered that this has been a part of his lifestyle for quite some time. He separated himself as the businessman and the family man from the freak-off man, if you get what I mean.
It's all kind of things that's coming out. This is the reason why we have to have Jasmine come back, give us the latest update on what's happening, because she is the eyes and ears, and she's actually on the ground, people.
In the courtroom.
In the courtroom.
Yeah. He wasn't someone I idolized, but I freelanced at Revolt for a little while. So I've been around him many times, and obviously we've heard he's not the greatest at paying his artists, right? And not giving them their royalties, all that stuff that's part of the music business and things of that nature. But I was even floored hearing the level of abuse that Cassie and others said that they had to go through being in his proximity. So yeah, it's going to be more interesting as the weeks go on. I'll be back in New York next week. So, I'll be able to get back on with you guys and give you guys more details from inside the courthouse and the courtroom.
We appreciate you, Jasmine.
Thank you, guys.
Journalist Jasmine Simpkins giving us an inside look at the Diddy trial. I can't wait to see how this one ends. On the way, Kindred the Family Soul. This is Cafe Mocha.
Standing in solidarity from a woman's perspective. It's Cafe Mocha.
It's Cafe Mocha with Loni Love, Yo-Yo. I'm the producer, Angelique, back visiting Cafe Mocha, a family that we love, Kindred the Family Soul. Welcome back to the show.
It's been
thank you for having us.
Why y'all keeping us off the show? We love to be on the show. Goodness, good night.
Y'all can come on the show anytime. You know what?
Don't say that. Don't say that.
No, this is important because we just celebrated Father's Day, and Lonnie and I
Yeah.
had nothing good to say. So please enlighten us as a daddy. You know, please help
Y'all
us.
didn't have nothing good to say about fathers?
Well, just not from our personal experiences. So,
You know what? She's
goodness
speaking for
gracious.
herself. She
Terrible.
turned it into a therapy session about what her dad did and all. And it's like, you know
so
what?
did you. So did you, Lonnie. Stop.
I did say, you know, I talked about the perspective of fathers, and since we have you on, and you all
Yeah.
are great parents, just something that we can dip in. Say
Well,
something
first of
about
all, I
fathers.
mean, look, first of all, none of you would be here without your father.
Thank you.
That's
True.
first. That's first. So, I mean, I know moms get all of the credit, and they deserve mostly all of the credit, you know, especially in our community. But fathers do have a specific job, and that is first and foremost that they are the first person to be a part of the entire process of a child coming into this world.
Mm-hmm.
They're the first part of the process.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you got to give it up for that. And even if your father wasn't around or didn't do what he was supposed to do, which happens often in our communities, you know, and that's an unfortunate scenario in the situation, you do have to give it up for, just like the breath of your lungs comes from God and the nurturing of your body comes from your mother, the seed comes from your father. So you owe him a debt of gratitude regardless of what the scenario ends up being. And so you should just always be thankful and grateful for your presence in the world, and that God gives us what we need even when he takes things away from us or when things don't actually turn out the way in which that we would prefer them to be. So there's always something positive about your parents that you can think of and that you should know and that you should hold on to and revere. So give fathers their love, give mothers their love, and, you know, be grateful for who you are in the world and how you show up and how God grants us opportunities to still be better even when we are at a loss or a deficit. So I just say that.
What
And
kind
for
of
all the
daddy?
fathers out there, to be the very best father that you can be.
What kind of daddy are you? You the
I'm a present.
disciplinarian.
I'm a present daddy. I am a loving daddy. I am a grateful father. And I just try to be as
Is that right?
What's the word? No, I think I try to be as emotionally available and supportive as I possibly can to my children and for my family at all times.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, father issues are interesting because many of us a lot of us Gen Xers, I'm about to say Gen Z, a lot of us Gen Xers have them, you know, so what's us going into being a family, I think both of us, you know, struggle with what that was going to look like outside of the fantasy of, like, I don't know, the Cosbys or whatever, where, you know, the Huxtables. But Fatin has really always loved the idea of being a dad. He was like, you know, even when we were dating, he talked about children. And when he knew he was going to become a father, he always had this think ahead kind of way of being, but he has always prioritized these kids and us as a family in a way that seemed to come very natural to him. So there wasn't a transition. He has been he is as he is as a father, as he is as a man. He has always wanted this family. So he's always operated from that place of a person that wants to be in this role. And as a dad, it's really challenging to have 6 children. They're all different. And all the kids have challenged us both in different ways. And I have just loved the way that he has been able to, even as our kids have gotten older, be able to look at the ways that we got things right and the ways that we had to improve. And having adult kids is really, that's that time. Like y'all talk about, your challenges with your dad, but these are the musings of grown women. So at the end of the day, all of us get to face our grown children.
Mm-hmm.
And that part has been a new thing. So I think even now that, and I can only speak as a mom, but I'm just speaking for him. He can chime in if he thinks I'm not right. But I think that for us as parents, that has just been that kind of added, like, wow, I didn't know I was still going to be learning as a parent at this stage of the game. And so, yeah, so I think he's an amazing dad. I think he's excellent. He's always just been our rock. He's been the center of this family for a really long, for as long as we've had children, which is 26 years.
But interestingly enough, to go back to, the truth is that, you guys said that y'all didn't really have anything positive or that you could think of from your angles, but your father's is like, I never met my biological father. And he passed away when my son went to college. The day that we took our son to college, I was told that my dad passed away. And like, that was really hurtful, and it affected me a great deal. But I had a wonderful stepfather who married my mother and my brothers and sisters, and who I really feel like I get my example to be in my children's lives and to love my family in the way in which I do is a direct derivative of how strongly he loved us, and how fortunate I was to have somebody who stepped in as a father figure and really played the role, not played the role, but, maintained the role for so long, and just gave me a lot of inspiration, gave me a lot of love, gave me a lot of insight, gave me a lot to pull from as a father and as a husband, and I'm extremely grateful for. So just like I was saying, the father is the seed, and without that seed, I wouldn't be here to maintain or provide or protect or to be there for my children. So that father, even though I never met him and didn't know him in that way, like, I owe him a debt of gratitude as well. So I just want to, make sure that we uplift the fathers, because some of the fathers may have been worse off for you if you did have a relationship with them. So
that's true.
God gives and he takes away for different reasons, which we don't truly understand, but he always gives us what we need. And so we just have to really be thankful and grateful.
It's Cafe Mocha on the line, Kindred the Family Soul. We're talking about some new...
My baby daddy, ladies and gentlemen, my baby's daddy.
And let's get into
y'all.
This new music that you all are doing. It's called I Need You. Let's talk about this single. It's being played everywhere. We're playing it and everything. So let's talk about it.
Yeah. So we're huge Frankie Beverly fans. Huge. And just the hugest. And I think we're both from the two big hubs of his fan base. At least we like to believe so, until New Orleans, after he passed away, showed everybody who was really in charge. But I'm from Washington, D.C. originally, and Fatina's from Philly. And when Frankie Beverly passed away, I think we were both kind of toying around with, dang, how can we really show and honor him? And so we tossed around the idea of doing a cover tune, and then we landed on I Need You. And what's really a great story about that also is that after we finished the single, Fatin wanted to share the song with Frankie Beverly's son, only to go back to his DMs and see that, how many years ago was it? Maybe 4?
About 5 years previous.
5 years ago. So 5 years previous, he had DM'd my husband and said, hey, you know what? You guys should cover I Need You. It would sound great.
Wow.
And so it's just been in the air. We've done covers of his music in our live show for as long as we've been a group. So it's just a long time coming for us to record his music. So this has just been a good time to do so, just honoring, our forefathers and mothers, and that's just what we're doing.
I mean, can we talk about the legacy of Frankie Beverly and his music and how it has influenced your group?
Pretty much since the very beginning of starting the group, like, it's been a benchmark and it's been an inspiring entity, to everything that we've done. Like she said, we've covered his songs, We Are One and Golden Time of Day, and, placed, little bits and pieces of his show or his songs or catalog into our repertoire. And, when we first got an agent or wanted to tour, and it was like, people was like, well, what kind of group do you want to be like? Maze and Frankie Beverly was the type of group that we saw ourselves as. We saw ourselves as, that barbecue, that cookout, that huge festival style event, and the way that people connected to his music and the way that his music is a backdrop to so many of the experiences in our lives. It's what you aspire to do as a musician, and to have been a group that for 25 to 35 years, Frankie and them didn't even have to put out another record, and they never had to really put out another record. The music that they had created was so strong and so revered that people just love to go and see them over and over and over and over and over again. And we've been very fortunate in a sense of, after 20 years of being a group, and even though we've released, countless projects, people fell in love with the music that we created, mostly from the beginning of our career. And they have been coming to see us and, holding us up and, just loving on us from the very beginning. And I think that speaks to, really just putting your love, your heart, your soul, and your spirit into the music that you create with really good intentions of hoping that it resonates with your audience. And I think that's what Frankie did. And we tried to take that as the inspiration for what we were trying to do and tried to incorporate that into what we do. And I think that, here, as we look back over 25 years of a career of our own now, to still be here, to still be doing it, to still, be connecting with people and even able to make new music is just a huge, huge blessing.
I mean, we don't have duos anymore. You all,
no.
I mean, it's like y'all all we got left. That's it.
Well, yeah, I mean, groups, coming up in the 90s, girl groups and guy groups, that they had a resurgence, and it was like a real thing for us coming up, and so being a group, being a duo felt like, okay, yeah, we could do this. But to be honest, when we first got started, it wasn't that many. So, and the only group that people would ever compare us to was Ashford and Simpson, which was a honor, but also they hadn't released music since we were kids.
Right.
So there was a feeling that there's always been like a void there with it since we got started. So we're grateful to have been in that place and been able to occupy that space with just a handful of other groups. But as the years have gone on, we've seen a few other people do it. They've been amazing. And, it's just been good to see people embrace something that they don't get to see an awful lot. We never really felt like, people weren't open to it. Or, there were times we may have felt a little pigeonholed, but just in terms of people's, version of us that they wanted. But it's been a great experience. And there are a lot more duos now. I will say that.
Yeah, we got the Baylor Project. We got Avery Sunshine and her husband, who, even though they're not necessarily a duo, they do work together and do it together. And quite a few others that, whose names might escape me at this very moment, but we don't run the lane per se. You know what I mean? We're just one of the many who love one another and get an opportunity to do what we love together. And so for that, we're just grateful. And
well, y'all the only two that come to mind when I...
Yeah.
Ain't nobody else.
And we thank you.
That can't be all bad. That can't be all bad.
Yes, hallelujah. We love it. Well, you know what? People have given us so much love and respect. And now the people that started out as fans of our music, now their kids are fans of the music. We get lots of folks that come to the show and they're like, yeah, my mom used to play your music every morning on my way to school. And they're like at the show with their husband or wife or partner or whatever the case may be. And it's like, it's been amazing to see that transition over time. So yeah, it's a good thing.
Because y'all got talent. That's why I can sing and hold notes.
More with Kindred the Family Soul coming up on Cafe Mocha.
We're at Cafe Mocha Radio. Socially savvy on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Serving up more Cafe Mocha on the way.
On WhatsApp, no one can see or hear your personal messages. Whether it's a voice call, message, or sending a password. To WhatsApp, it's all just this. So whether you're sharing the streaming password in the family chat or trading those late-night voice messages that could basically become a podcast, your personal messages stay between you, your friends, and your family. No one else. Not even us. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
Standing in solidarity from a woman's perspective. It's Cafe Mocha.
Cafe Mocha with Emmy Award-winning talk show host Loni Love, hip-hop icon Yo-Yo, and I'm the producer Angelique. We're talking to Kindred the Family Soul. So you guys have a new album coming out, I understand, soon, September, October. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, kind of when we finish. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, we're at this great place, like I said earlier, the 40s and 50s is an amazing place to be in because you kind of do the work you want to do. Mm-hmm. And we've been kind of really blessed to be able to travel and tour and do all the things we've been doing now for 20 plus years. And so we've been able to make records like that too. And so we are in the middle of recording this album, and it is our hope to have it done by the end of summer. And that's the prayer. But we're just really into taking our time and making y'all some really good music and just enjoying this season of our lives where we can kind of do it the way we want to.
There's no rush, and we just want to make sure that it's right before we release it. I feel really, really good about it and hope that, it really resonates.
Okay, I need it. So can you do a rush a little bit?
You need it. Yes, we're trying to get it. We're trying to get it together for you, Loni. We want you to have some date night music. You know that.
Exactly. That's something,
So the album's coming out when you guys finish. Is there a title for the album yet?
No, but let's come up with one right now. Let's come up with a title between the four of us. Right here, right now. Our last album was entitled Auntie and Uncle. Mm-hmm. Since we released that album, we became grandparents. Ooh. We toyed around with, should we call the next album The Grandparents or Grandmom and Grandpa? But I don't think that has a great ring to it. So you guys, you tell us, give us two from the two of you, and we'll yay or nay those. And then we can't give you any credit outside of the credit that you'll get for saying it here.
Papa and Mama.
That's what I was getting ready to say, Loni.
We're going to put an asterisk. We got this for Cafe Mocha.
I was getting ready to say the
Papa
same
and Mama.
thing.
Papa and Mama.
The hits.
That's y'all's favorite one. Y'all going with that. That's y'all's submission.
No. Give us some time.
But we are Papa and Mama. We love it. We're Yaya and Pop Pop.
We're Yaya and Pop Pop because this is Yaya to the grandkids, and I'm Pop Pop. So, I mean, it could be Pop Pop and Yaya.
The evolution of Ya and Pa.
Ooh. Uh-oh.
The evolution of Ya and Pa. Okay.
Listen, I think that's a
kind of thing here.
That's a strong submission there, good sister. I like it.
We're gonna have to take that back and put it in the pipe and smoke it and see what we come up with on that one.
And maybe our listeners, if you're listening to this, and if you have a proposal for a title for the new album, put it on cafemocharadio.com and we'll send it to them.
Please,
I like that idea. I'm totally down with that.
We might mess around and come up with something that way.
Okay.
I would love it. We are really excited about the opportunity to make new stuff. So, and Auntie and Uncle was really was so well received, especially since we basically put it out during the pandemic. So we knew our fans they show up for us. And so we're really grateful. So if y'all out there got something that y'all want us to do, you like this is the title for us, please hit up our girls and let them know.
Please note, again, you will not get paid.
Don't say it like
Don't
that.
call me. My grandkids got to go to college.
There might be some sort of gift that we can gift to someone if they come up with the right thing. We could maybe, give them free show tickets for life or, something
For
like
life.
that. We'll come up with something. For life.
You said for life.
For their life or for ours, one or the other. We'll see
Such
which one
a
we
good
can do.
dad, I tell you.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm looking at the cover art too, because that's important too. Because for Auntie and Aunt, that was such a perfect, it was just this picture of both of you, and it captured it so well. So that it takes a lot with that. So
That's one of my favorite album covers. Actually, it really is. I just thought, a lot of times the covers of our albums are. Yeah, the covers are usually kind of romantic, which is cool because we like romance. But I like that Auntie and Uncle was a little different. It was just we were just standing, looking straight ahead, and it was powerful for me. So I really loved. That's one of my favorite album covers.
Yeah, Aja hates the romance thing now though, because she's always getting mad. Like we've done every romantic scenario that one can think of in the videos and all of our photo shoots, and we got to come up with something different. So we're grateful that Auntie and Uncle came out the way that it did.
Yeah, I just feel like this, I don't shrug romance. I love it. I think that's part of what people are endeared to in terms of what we do. But we are at our core artists, and I feel like, we've shown that image.
Yeah,
many times.
Over and over again.
I promise y'all that we love each other. I promise.
Absolutely.
No, I believe that. I believe Papa and Mama love each other.
Papa and Mama love each other real bad. He's always telling me he gonna tell my grandkids what He said your grandkids don't know what you be doing.
Right when they out the room.
You here being somebody, grandma. He said, "This is a shame."
But you know what could be for the cover art?
It
could be that you have y'all holding the kids, but it's you showing the back of them, not their faces. That could be like the grandkids. And like that. I was just thinking. Now y'all got me thinking.
The grand life. The grand life.
The grand life.
The grand life. Yeah.
Double meaning.
Come on, husband. We came up with a couple of them.
There we go.
Triple meaning.
This is what we do.
Grand babies, grand relationships.
Life is grand.
Yeah.
Yes. I love it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
We thought we were going to come up with something, didn't we?
See?
I think
so. See how we sat at the table and pulled that together? I love it. You know what's actually really cool?
What?
About the idea about him holding the children with their faces turned? We have one of my favorite pictures of Fatin was with my twins when they were toddlers. Oh no! He has a picture of them.
That's true.
Where his back is turned and he's just holding them, and they're like looking into the camera. It's really a cute picture. And so I'm like,
you can have one and I have the other, and then we see together.
Yeah, I love it.
Because everybody gonna know that's not our kids. This vasectomy is still working. It's working.
It is working very well.
Every time you guys are on the show, I'm like, so how many kids do you have now?
The gift that keeps on giving is that vasectomy. Oh my God.
Yes, 15 years strong. The vasectomy is still holding.
That's strong.
Dude,
it locked me up good.
Also, too, I'm perimenopausal, so we are like, I'm on the train. I'm on the Perry train.
All the information, baby. Release all the information.
Well, you know what?
I think can relate, though.
I think it's important to talk about these things. You get to.
This is a part of the grand life. This is a part of the grand life.
It's part of the grand life.
I love it. So
I mean, the women are being so much more open about these things these days. So it's important.
Exactly. We're not
embarrassed.
Where them
fans at? Where them fans at? Fan yourself down, ladies. Come on now.
The HBCU First Look Film Festival is looking for college filmmakers. You could win up to $5,000 and get exposure to some of the biggest names in Hollywood. Go to hbcufirstlook.com, hbcufirstlook.com. The deadline to submit your film, August 28th.
Here's your dose of espresso. Strong, hot news now.
This is the Espresso. Most of Florida is with Trump, but the black sheriff of Broward County says,
what I refuse to do is take this notion that we need to be knocking on doors or arresting children or going into daycare centers or restaurants and taking and snatching people off these streets.
A lot of us are saying this battle over immigration isn't our fight, but some believe it's only a matter of time before we get targeted too.
ICE will make their way into Flatbush, and they will pick up Caribbean people. ICE will make their way into Harlem, into the Bronx, into these majority ethnic communities, and they will take whoever doesn't look the part as a U.S. citizen.
We lost Ananda Lewis, who was a fighter for our community, for her life, and for her son.
My son is on a FaceTime playdate with a friend who was talking about another little boy who was crying. And my son said, men are allowed to have emotions. Yes. Mommy for the win.
That's the Espresso.
This is Cafe Mocha. Radio from a woman's perspective.
Cafe Mocha celebrating 15 years of uplifting and entertaining our community. We're talking to Kindred the Family Soul. Hopefully, we're going to help them name their new album. Lonnie, go ahead.
The touring, where can we see the shows? How can we get the tickets? How can we support?
Our whole schedule is on our website. We have been just about everywhere, but we are circling back to be back there again. On our schedule for June is Philly, is Baltimore, Texas, Chicago. So we have a lot of stuff coming up in the next month, and then up until September.
Atlanta.
So that's the one cool thing about the way that we do work. In order to maintain this family, we work pretty much consistently all year. So check us out at kindredthefamilysoul.com. That's where you can find a whole list.
Cafe Mocha, Kindred the Family Soul, currently on tour. Go to kindredthefamilysoul.com to get information about where they're going to be, album coming soon, and of course their tribute to Frankie Beverly. The song is called I Need You. Hey, I got one more before we go. How about For the Love of Us?
And is this your title?
Yes.
For the Love of Us?
Never mind.
Yeah.
Well,
the grand life. The grand
trying,
life.
Keep trying, throw things at the wall and see what sticks. Angelique, I mean,
Lord,
I do think I like the idea of throwing that around because, hear people say all the time, I love us. I love us. And
for the love of us.
So I hear that for the love of us. It took me right to that spot. That definitely brought that up for me. And I'm thinking of the Isley Brothers music.
Oh, Isley Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
For the love of you, for the love of us.
More with Kindred the Family Soul coming up on Cafe Mocha.
Want a little more of our flavor? Stay right there. It's Cafe Mocha.
Cafe Mocha with Emmy Award-winning talk show host Loni Love, hip-hop pioneer Yo-Yo. I'm the producer, Angelique. Kindred the Family Soul has new music out, a new album coming soon. We're on the line with them.
Well, before we do really let you all go, the country is going through a lot, and I think that music can really help all of us. What are your thoughts on, or your advice for people that might be going through something and struggling?
Well, I think the best thing that you can do is to find that joy space. Because I have a good friend who talks about the difference between happiness and joy. And, the happiness is kind of fleeting, but joy is like eternal. You know what I'm saying? Joy is that thing that no one can kind of take from you. Mm-hmm. And if you can be kind of anchored in that, and certainly anchored in faith, but I think that joy is such a specific thing, that no one can take from you. And if you're anchored in that, I think in these particular times where so many things that we thought were institutions and so many spaces that we thought, folks that fought hard to kind of create would not, be up on the chopping block. And as we watch some of that happen, then it poses the question, what is it that we have that cannot be taken? So I would say, that creating and thinking about it from that space, asking yourself that, and surrounding yourself with those kinds of things, those types of people, those kinds of relationships, those types of things that, will keep you together. And I have to say, for us, music and making music is a part of that kind of joy for us as well. So, but it's different for everyone. But, that's kind of where our heads are. And then at our shows, we always say this at the end of our shows. We always sing together. We always try to remember and encourage people to remember what it feels like to be in a room full of people where that no matter where you come from, no matter how different the person is sitting next to you is, that if you're at a Kindred show, then you believe that love transforms all things. And so we always tell people, before we leave, let's put a seal on this feeling so that when we go out into the world that, we take that belief with us.
No matter who's in authority, God is always in control, and He has us. He has us. And we have to lean into that. We always have to remember that. And we have to know that, no matter what we're going through, that we can survive it. We will be okay. And we just have to continue to believe, have faith, and, like she said, find that joy space. Continue to tap into that. Continue to tap into your prayers and looking for the positive in everything, because there is something positive in every experience that we have and that we have to go through and that we need to learn. And God won't place any burdens on us that we can't bear. And we have to believe that, and we have to know that. And we just testaments to it. And we got to continue to be grateful and show gratitude to one another and love and respect and honor.
Kindred the Family Soul, thank you so much for joining us. Come back anytime.
Anytime.
We'll be back tomorrow.
We would love to.
Okay.
Love y'all.
Love you too.
Love
Thanks,
y'all.
guys. Appreciate y'all.
See y'all later. Take care.
Bye-bye.
And this is just a reminder, HBCU filmmakers, it's time for the HBCU First Look Film Festival. And we want you to submit your films. The categories range from feature films to animated projects, and the winner takes home $5,000. Go to hbcufirstlook.com. The submission deadline, August 28th. That's the show. Until next time, you can find us on all platforms at Cafe Mocha Radio. Cafe Mocha is a production of Miles Ahead Broadcasting in partnership with Super Radio. Executive producer Sheila Eldridge. For comments, booking, or more information, visit cafemocharadio.com.